Good morning. Today I want to talk to you about Morgellons. I've done 3 years of research and documented all the sources from which I have information, truth. Let's talk about that a little bit today. There's a lot of people being affected. Many people are not speaking up because they're too embarrassed. But I'm into stage 2 of it. But anyway, let's get on with this because it's a little bit more lengthy than what I would hope for. Okay, Canadian whistleblower Marsha Pavilis has proven that Morgellons was released by U.S. government as a bioweapon. A new parasitic AI invasion, as Tom Price would put it. I have all kinds of sources working against me here this morning. Every time I try to do this, it acts up on me. Okay, back at it. So that was Tom Price. So I have all the links here with a lot of the information. So all about the transformation that occurs in Morgellons' hair is a hallmark of Morgellons being a synthetic biological system. Real hair is replaced with tubes, which may be made by bacteria. The tube hair is filled with fungus, fibers, and animals. Some plant life. The animals in Morgellons are ones that have had their genome sequenced, or enough of the genome to be able to genetically engineer them. New genetic engineering techniques have engineered the animals and their symbiote bacteria to live in human skin. Most of them are microscopic, aiding if you can't see it, it's not there. Freaking little comment stance of the CDC and the doctors. These animals can deliver vaccines, knock down genes, instructions for restructuring your skin and hair. DNA can be complex with polymers, some of which can cross the brain-blood barrier, delivering stealth viruses to the brain, where brain cells are rearranged into confused masses of cells. This may be where the brain fog in Morgellons comes from. There is no one to protect us from this. The best thing to do is to get the animals out of the body as quickly as possible. Morgellons attacks the blood, the source of our very life, the oxygen needed for cells, for conscious thought, coherent thinking. Note in the video, which is connected to what I'm reading here, all about parasites. Note in the video the processes in the blood which are engineered in Morgellons to screw up blood. This is another thing which may cause confused thinking in victims. I'm not a victim. I'm a warrior, and I fight till I win. And then we go down here to Schizit gesture. Morgellons is caused by a parasite. This parasite is tiny, often black with shiny black surface. Its final development stage. It often has a gray stripe on its back. It has been a concern once again since 2002. Morgellons was actually active in the 1600s and now being used as a bioweapon. This bioweapon is being tested out on all we the people all over the world. This is a contagious disease. Anyone with it should not be touching or letting anyone touch them. Now, that being said, this the doctor in this particular article, doctor said they feel it is being transmitted through touch somehow. Doctors are misleading you. It's transmitted through the air that you freaking breathe. Okay. So, that's a bunch of bullshit right there. Straight up. Killing in the name of bioweapons. Pentagon bioweapons, that's by Medea Greer. So that link is in there. I'm not going to go over that there. Why did the CDC cover up Morgellons? Because it was made in a proteomic and genomic lab that makes weapons for war. Morgellons massive cover-up by the CDC. Okay, Morgellons cover-up. Morgellons is a synthetic model organism created by mad scientists with no regard for the value of human life or life in general. They did this to us to connect us to the computer for their singularity transhumanism experiment. They want to be immortal. And if they do become immortal, I hope they beg for death to come, because death will not come. This is a silent superbug, a silent warfare, the fiber disease chemtrail sickness, CBL-001, FOMA, PHOMA, I'm not sure if that spelling right is right, but the PLEOSPORA, Morgellons, is CBL-001, and there is other strains. There are other strains. A mad scientist fused a cyanobacteria with a plant disease. Morgellons is also called the fiber disease and silent superbug. The slime mold is almost impossible to eradicate in humans without killing the human being. See, slime mold, which has somehow totally invaded every single part of our bodies, inside and out, it has merged with us. The bizarre nature of Morgellons never ceases to amaze me. It mutates to everything you try. This is just terrible what has been done to us, and yet no one really seems to fucking care. CDC cover-up crime against humanity, filmed at 40 times magnification with Celestron LED microscope 44321. If you think you have Morgellons, the best thing to do is get a microscope. I need a microscope. I have all kinds of things to look at, but it has been proven through, I had to go outside the medical community. I will not give you the name, but protect this source. I had to go outside the medical community to find out what was wrong with me, and I was shown on a computer under a magnifying glass these fibers in my freaking blood. Okay, so and how the cells are all mutated. I had to go outside the medical community to get the truth, because the doctors will look you in the freaking eyes. I know, I was stabbed in the eye. Will look you in the eyes and lie to you straight to your freaking face. Don't trust any of them. The fiber disease, okay, let's go on here. I got off a little rant. The fiber disease, PSI blast, is a novel environmentally resistant pathogen and contagious stem cell related man-made synthetic quorum-sensing microorganism. The base architecture represents cyanobacteria fused with trypanosome-like element. The base architecture will differentiate into a set of commensal resembling microorganisms. Differentiation equals cell specialization. Multi-lineage adaptation is a fact. Elements are receptacle in action. Quorum sensing is a stem-like property. Infection with this element mimics protothecosis and trypanosomiasis. The agent constitutes foreign adaptive protein. Protein can mimic DNA. Association with multinucleated giant cell type Langerhans. Vacuolated cytokine and epithelial cell is rational. Associated with multinucleated giant cell type Langerhans, vacuolated cytokine and epithelial cell is rational. Multi-dominant gene expression is associated with differential lepidoptera and diptera. I'm having trouble with these words here. Marine-related species, mammal-like species, bird-like species, prognosis, host-pathogen interaction. An infection with the synthetic element is acute, persistent, and latent. General characteristics: slowly, progressive, and invasive. Mode of transmission: air, water, contact, and vector-borne. The infection may directly or indirectly become associated with differential protothecosis, trypanosomiasis, tissue-replacing property, calcification, erosion, therapy-resistant skin disease. Let me stop right there. When I went to the dermatologist here, don't let them treat you. They're in on this because that stupid dermatologist, and anyone wants to know her name, call me. I'll be happy to share it, but I ain't going to give it to you publicly for reasons. You do not treat anybody that is complaining of parasites with steroids. Ever. It makes it worse. This stupid doctor gave my head 3 injections with steroids. It got 3 times as bad, like almost instantly. She needs to be banned. She's getting paid off or something, because this, I mean, how stupid can you be? Really? There ain't no freaking dermatologist. She's a stupid person that must have cheated on her tests. Straight up. Bullshit. Stupid doctors. Where am I at here? Oh, down here, okay. Alright. They're therapy-resistant skin disease. Sclerosis, ulcerous process, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, which is just bad, peripheral neuropathy, vascular-related disease, fibromyalgia-like condition, sclerotic process, granulomatosis process, amyloidosis-like process, joint pain, infection of urogenital tract, neurogenetic condition, involvement of CNS, conjunctivitis, infestation of the vitreous, otitis, sinusitis, autoimmune-related disease, nosocomial infection. Prolonged contact with this type element could be associated with neurodegenerative disease, be a factor in cancerous-like process and congenital disease. This is all, I'll post this with the video so you can actually read these words I'm trying to pronounce. It's, science stuff. You can go to dataasylum.com, the bio API, for more detailed information, which I'm still searching. But Morgellons, nematodes, and marigold tea is another link for you. The one that really got me, and the one I came across when I first started researching 3 years ago, is that this is a battle for my soul. Am I living for truth, righteousness, our Father of all, through Lord Jesus Christ? Or am I actually living for death through the occult and all that wonderful stuff? So I had to make major changes in my life, but I'm happy I did. And, you know, judgment's coming. Everybody's getting judged, whether you think you're dead or not. So, these things you're trying to do, it ain't gonna work. The light's already won. It's just a matter of watching it play out. You people better wake up. It's gonna hit you alongside the head and spin you around like that. All of you. Everybody's getting affected. So better get right. Sensing technology in Morgellons. Let me try to finish this up here. I'm not even close. Another word for sensing is functionalization, something created to interact in specific ways. In Morgellons, sensing systems are genetically included in biological systems which create fibers, namely bacteria and fungus. Living systems are genetically enhanced with synthetic biology. The materials in Morgellons are functional sensing materials designed for a specific purpose at a particular site in the body. Now, I've had 4 neck surgeries and many others. I got off track there. They react to light, pH, hormones, genetic triggers such as insect hormones. They are living functional sensing systems. Man-made biosensors use chemical and biological materials. This is the eye of the Morgellons victim, which is populated with worms. Now, it would show an example there, but again, I'll post the links to all this. She has recently had major surgery to remove part of her colon and intestines because of the disease of Morgellons. Her hair and skin have been completely replaced with synthetic materials, fibers, and worms. The Morgellons specimen used in this video are simply background, not particular illustrative text. Sensing is chemical detective work. Functionalized materials are chemically engineered to find the place in your body where they are specifically designed to do their job. Morgellons materials are functionalized for certain purposes. This identifies them as sensing materials. This video shows various kinds of sensing systems to give you an idea of how biological systems can be manipulated via sensing materials inside the body. Your body has its own sensing system. Your immune system is always standing by, ready to go into action in the presence of pathogens. If someone designs material to change your immune system, they create a system which senses which senses which cells to attack and how to attack them to achieve a particular disease path. The designers of Morgellons have knowledge of your body's sensing systems and use them to their advantage when introducing new materials by suppressing your immune system. There are delivery systems designed as fibers for injection into the body, human body, as part of therapy for disease, and this technology may be part of a Morgellons delivery system. Biological warfare, bioterrorism, biodefense, and the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention by Edgar J. De Silva, the Consensus Conference on the Role of Biosensors in Detection of Agents of Bioterrorism, Medical Applications of Fiber Optics. Optical fiber sees growth as medical sensors. I never agreed to any of this. Biosensors, past, present, future. Supramolecular. Let's go down here a little bit further. Gang stalkers record brain frequencies for torture with electronic and acoustic weapons. See, this all goes along with the is connected to Morgellons, people that are being they're rejecting it. Their bodies ain't accepting it. Americans are being selected for disposal, no indictment, no trials, no jury. Go directly to torture and death sentence. Thousands of Americans are deliberately being murdered after being selected for total access. They are slandered out of their employment, which leads them to losing their homes, losing everything through a Nazi-like selection process. The deaths in these programs, Morgellons, radiation, and gang stalking, for a complete view of military terroristic tactics being used against Americans, dues, gang stalking, by omission, please see the most recent version of Insurgencies Encountering Insurgencies. Terrorist psychological operations being used on Americans. Using TIs got on the wrong frame. Oh, wait. Okay, you have to know a little bit about the scenes that stalkers use. They are pretty standard. To sensitize each target with a particular pose, like using a phone, coughing, hanging an arm out the car window, you have to access each one as to whether they are just a person using a phone or a stalker. The ones in this video were assessed to be stalkers because of their actions before and after their frames. If you haven't studied organized stalking and put derogatory marks, you will... Oh. Remember the 600,000 Americans who died in Civil War over slavery? Slavery's here again. Only this time it's a total takeover of human being by means of controlling the mind and body with more modern weapons. Directed energy, acoustics, and remote neural monitoring. Those who control others by any means become the master, and the person whose mind is altered and is controlled is the slave. The slaves are being tortured and killed. The slaves are being tortured and killed by the means of the programs of electronic harassment, gang stalking, and Morgellons, among others. These programs eliminate the victims from the population by taking away their health, their jobs, their homes, and control over their bodies and their lives. Some stalkers have been heard to brag about having killed, caused suicide of 3 targets in a week's time. This is a federal government program with carefully phrased documents outlining partnering with businesses and gang stalkers, ex-crime, ex-military, neighbors. And I give you all kinds of link here. Community-oriented policing service. The hiring program. The manual. Okay. Money for stalking. More bullshit. How do the weapons get into the hands of the community? Partnerships and technical assistance, the PTA division. The PTA division helps create change in the police profession and the communities it serves by developing and sustaining partnerships. Partnerships means they gave them money and weapons between law enforcement and key constituents, developing curriculum and delivering training to law enforcement and the community, provided technical assistance to law enforcement agencies, and producing products and resources. Partnerships between law enforcement, educational institutions, the private sector, community groups, and other government agencies provide the framework for the development of specialized training. Innovative ways of providing technical assistance and the opportunity to introduce new audiences to the importance of continuing to emphasize community policing. Now, wasn't that perfectly clear? Morgellons, Lyme, and targeted individuals. The missing link is fungal infection, according to this particular link. There is a weaponized fungus sweeping the world. It is causing widespread illness, and some to believe they are being targeted. This fungal infection leads to rage, misery, and personality disorder. This function infects systemically throughout the body and causes you to smell like food to infected insects. Nice. They feed off of you, spreading bacterial and parasite larvae infestations. The AMA is in denial of any fungal aspect of this modern epidemic. Shills on YouTube that work to spread propaganda are denying the fungal connection. You cannot recover until you address the fungal aspect of these diseases. Antibiotics alone will ultimately exacerbate the condition. Antifungal medications and alpha-anthelmintics must be used in conjunction with antibiotics, but the medical industry is glossing over these treatments and intentionally promoting bacteria as being solely responsible for these diseases. The Spiraceae borrelia, which I have in my blood, which is blamed, is not even truly a bacteria. Neither is Babsia, which is a parasite. It's no wonder why antibiotics alone cannot cure these conditions. Doctors are instructed to claim Morgellons victims as delusional, so they're in on it. For many years, Lyme victims, which I've told my doctors for the past 30 years I've had Lyme's, I've had every symptom, but they would never, the blood work, they always had something to say, oh, what's on the edge, we're not really sure, blood work ain't really proving it, right? Okay. It's no wonder why antibiotics alone cannot cure these conditions. Doctors are instructed to claim Morgellons victims as delusional. For many years, Lyme disease victims were told it's all in their head. Medical fraud is at the root of these diseases, and industry will continue to mislead many. Few are the brave doctors bucking the system, demanding answers for their patients. There is hope if you act swiftly and treat all aspects of these diseases, including fungal. This continues to be one of the largest divergent cover-ups in the history of these diseases. The global, more advanced medical world scoffs at the lies being promoted by the U.S. medical mafia. With regards to these diseases, but no one dares publicly challenge it. So, the industry cannot afford to draw attention to the fungal antigen OSP, capital A, and its role in these diseases. To do so would be an admission of guilt for the CDC covering up Lyme spread through the now withdrawn Lamarix vaccine. Yeah, I got the link here for you too, for the proof. Morgellon nanofibers and nanosmart dust. Rents.com has a very good explanation. Morgellons nanowires by Michelle X. She's really good too. There's Morgellons equal crystalline DNA activation. T. Taylor. This is a great intro to what is exactly occurring at this time on Earth. Many are just turning into the fact that their physical body is actually changing. Once many are starting to see the plasma-like filaments exiting their bodies, they start looking for info, and usually the only thing they find is Morgellons. This is keeping the narrative of the old controllers, as it leads many to fear. It's so important that as the collective awakens to these changes, that they have access to information that will empower them and lead them to a higher vibrational understanding of this process. Now, okay, you got to be careful of misinfo, okay? So I would question this whole thing there. By Harold Kautz-Vella, the chemtrail program is delivering to the people Morgellons fungus, infecting most, if not all, on the planet, to serve as an antenna array to transmit individuals' DNA to be tracked by satellite. Implemented through dissemination of smart dust. Testing done in the Iraq War. that's in the TRIA file. Vella speak. This is a direct attack from Satan, transhumanism, black magic. Mr. Vella takes a deep dive into many bizarre and novel symptoms surrounding subjects of Morgellons syndrome and the effects it has on the human condition. He covers topics such as chemtrails, fungus, nanotechnology, cluster topology, piezoelectrical, nanocrystals, nanotags, spiritual attachments, and many other subjects related to the scourge we have come to call Morgellons. So that link is there also. Candy Griffin Vanda Walker attempts to show the connection between Morgellons and targeted individuals, the connection between artificial intelligence and the mind-controlled digital grid system, and how that system is being used to carry out the operations of targeted gang-stalking human beings. Morgellons more than just nanotech. What do you think of nanotechnology and Morgellons? The pictures in this video have been sent to me from Morgellons. Okay, you're not going to see that. But one lady has about 50 different kinds of bacteria, animals, vegetables, and diseases, including leishmaniasis. One of the vegetables is celery. Many of the pictures are hers. Who are the terrorists who would do this to men, women, and children, animals all over the world? How do insects change your DNA? Movement of the host genes to symbionts and parasites. More than 10% of the insect species contain maternally inherited symbionts, bacterial, fungal, or viruses, which either live inside cells or are transferally transmitted or live outside cells and are transmitted transovum. Many symbionts contribute to a positive manner to the physiology and metabolism of the host, although others disrupt survival or fertility of their host. There's a possibility that transgenes in arthropods could be picked up by these symbionts or parasites and transmitted to other hosts. Biobricks are used to create pre-designed genetics which can deliver cancer via the TGF-beta signaling pathway. In fact, Morgellons may be considered a TGF-beta signaling pathway disease since it controls growth of hair, blood, and wound healing. Thus, this ends my little rant, and I thank you for everything. May our true God bless you all, the Father of all.